we'll be making this terrific hobby horse. It's a traditional toy. It's a horse head on a broomstick. It's a refreshing break from the beeping, flashing toys that are so prevalent today. Now I'll show you what we'll need to make our hobby horse. We'll start by making our pattern. You'll need 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 paper, some tape to tape that together, a good size ruler, and a pencil. That's to make our pattern. For the hobby horse stick, I used a broomstick that you'll need to cut to about 2.5 to 3 feet, depending upon how big you want it. You can also use a wooden dowel that you can get at a wood store. You'll need a saw to do some notches or to cut the broomstick. You might be able to get help with that. If you don't have a saw, you could get help with that at a Home Depot or a lumber store. They usually can help you out with something like that. Okay, for the fabric, I'm going to be using a fleecy fabric. This is great stuff, easy to cut, easy to work with. You can use, though, for the head of the horse, you can really use anything you want. You can use canvas, you can use corduroy, really any kind of fabric that you want. I'm using a little bit of a floral fabric to just do some contrast on the ears. And for the mane, you can either use a fleecy fabric like this. I'll show you how to make the mane of the horse with a fleecy fabric. Or you can choose a yarn to make the mane out of. So I'll show you the 2 methods for making the mane, with the fleecy fabric and with the yarn. Now for the bridle, you'll want to choose some ribbons, any kind of ribbons you want, and you may want to put some bells on your bridle. And I like to use a large bell that isn't a choking size. So this is a good size bell. Now for the bridle, you might also want to pick up one of these rings. You can plastic ring or a wood ring, or this is a metal ring. Even like a curtain ring or anything would work for the bridle. Let's put the bridle attachment. Now for the eyes, I'm using safety eyes, and they come like this in the craft stores or fabric stores, and they're actually very good. You snap them on, and they're really very difficult to pry open. I don't think a child could ever pry that open. I think you'd need a screwdriver to do that. So they're safety eyes. You want to make sure you have good tight ones. Or you can use buttons like this leather button, but you want to make sure for young children that you do secure any buttons, anything like that, on nice and tight. So the eyes can be, there's a lot of options here for materials in making this horse. Then we'll need some stuffing to stuff the head. And we'll need some needle and thread. And you also want to have a good strong carpet thread or upholstery thread for attaching the horse head to the stick. You'll need scissors, of course, and to hold things together as we're sewing. I'm going to be sewing the horse head on the sewing machine, but anything that we do here you really can do by hand. You could sew this completely by hand. So, but I do it with the machine because it's quicker. Okay, so I think we've got everything. Let's get started.